Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK today. I hope you all are doing very well, and today we'll be discussing the most important MCQs for 22nd of June 2024. Let's start with our session. The first question is, what is the theme of World Sickle Cell Day 2024? First of all, this day is observed every year on 19th of June to raise awareness about the sickle cell disease, which is a genetic blood disorder. This day was established by 2008 United Nations resolution, and basic aim is to inform the public and the stakeholders about early detection and prevention. Okay, this year the theme was Hope Through Progress, advancing sickle cell care globally, and this theme emphasizes improving care and providing relief for the patients worldwide. Okay, so two things are important. We observe this day on 19th of June. This year the theme is Hope Through Progress, advancing sickle cell globally. Next is, Nalanda University, recently seen in the news, is located in which Indian state? So Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the new Nalanda University campus near the ancient ruins in Rajgir in the state of Bihar, and it was founded by Kumar Gupta in the 5th century. Nalanda was a renowned monastic university for 600 years, flourishing under Harshavardhana and the Pala monarchs, and it attracted the students from across Asia, teaching subjects like Buddhism, medicine and astronomy. It was destroyed in 1193 by Bakhtiyar Khilji. It was rediscovered in 1812, and now it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, so Nalanda University is located in the state of Bihar. Recently, which country became the first Southeast Asian country to recognize the same-sex marriage? This is the country Thailand. Thailand became the first Southeast Asian country to recognize the same-sex marriage, and despite its inclusive reputation, Thailand faced decades of challenges passing this law due to conservative societal and government values. So this bill grants full legal, financial and medical rights to the marriage partners of any gender. It awaits formal endorsement by King of Thailand, and it will be effective within 120 days. Okay, so Thailand is the first Southeast Asian country to recognize the same-sex marriage. Trent Boult, who recently announced his retirement from international cricket, belongs to which country? Answer would be New Zealand, that is D option. So the left arm fast bowler Trent Boult has announced his retirement from international cricket after the final Group C match of New Zealand against the country Papua New Guinea at the 2024 T20 ICC Cricket World Cup. Okay, so Trent Boult took 2 wickets for 14 runs. Fellow pacer Lockie Ferguson achieved a rare feat, taking 3 wickets without conceding a run in his 4 overs, making him the second player to do so in the T20 internationals. Okay, simply you have to remember that Trent Boult has recently announced his retirement from international cricket, and he is from New Zealand. Now recently, a hidden chamber has been discovered beneath the inner layers of the Godh Bundar fort during restoration work, and this fort lies in the state of Maharashtra on the Ulhas river. It was built by the Portuguese, and then it was completed in 1730. Initially it was used for horse trading. Later it was occupied by the Marathas and the British, and the fort features a Portuguese church from the early 16th century and various historical structures. Okay, so you can be asked that Godh Bundar fort, recently seen in the news, is located in which Indian state? Answer would be Maharashtra. The next question is, recently who was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Yuva Puraskar for Telugu? Here answer is Ramesh Karthik Naik, who is a 26-year-old writer from Vivek Nagar, Nizamabad district, and he has received the Sahitya Akademi Yuva Puraskar for Telugu literature. This award was instituted in the year 2011, and the award honors the young writers who are under 35 for their creative works in 24 languages. So it includes a plaque, shawl, citation and a 50,000 rupees check. And the Sahitya Academy was established in the year 1954. Basically, it promotes the literature in Indian languages autonomously under the Government of India. It plays a pivotal role in the literary discourse and publication. Okay, so Ramesh Kartik Naik has been honored with Sahitya Academy Yuva Puraskar for Telugu. Now, apart from it, recently a rare double sun halo was observed over Ladakh. Okay, what is this double sun halo? Basically, this is an optical phenomena which features two concentric rings around the sun. Okay, and it is caused by the sunlight refracting through ice crystals in the cirrus clouds, and the inner halo has a 22-degree radius while the outer halo spans in 46-degree radius. So this unique alignment of hexagonal ice crystals in the clouds create this dazzling effect, making it an uncommon sight, especially in the ideal conditions like those in Ladakh, right? You can be simply asked that recently a rare celestial phenomena known as double sun halo was recently witnessed in which region of India? Your answer would be Ladakh. Okay. The next question is, which organization has recently launched the Pre-Incubation Entrepreneurship Development Program? Here answer is InSpace, and the Pre-Incubation Entrepreneurship Program of InSpace aims to foster the innovation and entrepreneurship in India. It targets the Indian citizens, especially recent graduates and the startups who are registered after 1st of July 2022. And the program spans 21 months in across 3 phases: ideate, innovate and demonstrate, so as to transform the ideas into prototypes. Participants gain entrepreneurial skills and they may receive the grants so as to advance the scientific discoveries and socio-economic growth without prior funding from the private or government sources. Okay, so InSpace has recently launched this Pre-Incubation Entrepreneurship Development Program. Now these days Kafala system is in news very much. I am sure you would have heard about this system. And why it came into news? Because a deadly fire in Kuwait claimed 49 lives, sparking the scrutiny of the Kafala system, right? So it was introduced in 1950s across the Asia, and it binds the migrant workers to the employers who control their entry, employment changes and exit from the country. So this arrangement aimed to manage the labor influx during economic booms, but now it has faced criticism for exploitation and the rights of hindering workers to mobility and safety. Okay, you can be simply asked that what is the primary purpose of Kafala system that was recently seen in the news. So purpose is to regulate the relationships between employers and the migrant workers. Okay, the next question is, recently which country's scientists have developed a catalyst to produce the cheaper biodiesel? So scientists from Assam, Odisha, China and UK have developed a water repellent catalyst to significantly reduce the biodiesel production cost, and biofuels are quickly produced from biomass unlike slow fossil fuel formation. So they are primarily liquid or gaseous and commonly blended with petroleum products for transportation. Some like drop-in biofuels do not require blending, and this catalyst breakthrough promises economical biodiesel production. Potentially it transforms the renewable fuel accessibility and affordability. Okay, so scientists from India, China and UK have developed a catalyst to produce the cheaper biodiesel. Next is, recently which state government has announced the waiver of farm loans up to 2 lakh rupees to provide relief to over 1.91 lakh farmers in the state? This is the state of Jharkhand. The Jharkhand government has announced a farm loan waiver of up to 2 lakh rupees for over 1.91 lakh farmers. Loans taken by farmers between 50,000 and 2 lakh rupees until 31st of March 2020 will be waived through a one-time settlement, and this decision aims to provide significant relief to the farmers following an earlier crop loan waiver of up to 50,000 rupees in the fiscal year 2021 to 22. Right? So your correct answer is B option, that is Jharkhand state. Next is, What is the main focus of Joint Doctrine for Cyberspace Operations recently released by the CDS? So this recently released Joint Doctrine for Cyberspace Operations by CDS during the COSC meeting emphasizes the military aspects, and it provides the guidance to the commanders and the staffs. So it aims to enhance the awareness among the war fighters about executing the cyberspace operations, and this keystone publication guides the commanders in navigating complex military environments, and it promotes the jointness and integration within the Indian Armed Forces. Okay, basically it signifies a substantial advancement in the ongoing processes related to cyberspace operation. Fine. So what is the basic purpose of this operation? Answer would be military aspects of cyberspace operation. Fine. Next question is very important. According to the CIPRI report, how many nuclear warheads does India currently have? So recently CIPRI reported on nuclear warheads, revealing China's arsenal at 500 warheads, tripling India and Pakistan's number. And some Chinese warheads are on high alert for the very first time. India's arsenal stands at 172 warheads, slightly surpassing the Pakistan's, and Pakistan has 170. So India is expanding its nuclear triad with advanced submarines and long-range missile. So nuclear warheads deployed via the missiles or bombers harness nuclear reactions for devastating energy release, and it encompasses the fission and the fusion processes, and it causes immense destruction, right? So as per the CIPRI report, India have currently 172 nuclear warheads. The next one is Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor project, recently seen in the news, is associated with which Indian state? So Indian Prime Minister's recent visit to Varanasi marked his first since assuming office for the third time, where he inaugurated the Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor's first phase, and it is linked with the Ganga river banks. Basically it highlights the India's Sanatan culture, and PM Modi praised the historical resilience of Varanasi and the cultural richness. So he offered prayers at Kal Bhairav temple and witnessed the Ganga Aarti, and it underscores the visit's cultural and historical significance, celebrating the spirit of Varanasi and its iconic temple. Okay, so Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor project is associated with UP, Uttar Pradesh. Recently, which IIT has developed a crowd eye device that can send alerts when the number of pilgrims exceeds the capacity of shrine? This is IIT Roorkee. IIT Roorkee has developed the crowd eye device to manage the increasing pilgrim footfall at the Char Dham shrines, and it would be starting with Yamunotri. Okay, so this device provides real-time crowd monitoring, and a funding request has been submitted for its installation. The project cost nearly 60 to 70,000 rupees, awaits budget approval and patenting. Future updates will include gender differentiation in the crowd data. Surveys in Haridwar address traffic congestion during the pilgrimage season, right? So your answer is B option, IIT Roorkee. Next is, recently who has been appointed as the pro tem speaker in the Lok Sabha? This is K. Suresh. K. Suresh from the Congress party has been appointed as the pro tem speaker in the Lok Sabha. This temporary position is appointed by President of India to the most senior member. Okay, and this position is very important for presiding over the first sitting. Also, he or she conducts the floor test, and also he oversees the speaker and deputy speaker elections. So the pro tem speaker's tenure ends once the new speaker is elected. Fine. So K. Suresh has been appointed as the pro tem speaker in the Lok Sabha. And now the last question says, which state received the highest number of complaints to the National Commission for Women in 2024? So in 2024, the National Commission for Women received the most complaints from UP, that is 6,492, followed by Delhi with 1,119 complaints. Then it is followed by Maharashtra, 764. And out of 12,648 total complaints, 3,567 concerned right to dignity, 3,213 were for domestic violence, and 1963 for dowry harassment. Okay. Important thing is Manipur, despite significant violence, has recorded only 6 complaints, and other states also reported varying number of complaints. Okay, so UP has recorded the highest number of complaints to the National Commission for Women in 2024. So these are the most important current affairs and the news from today. And now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These are the most important current affairs and the news from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.